Unmute.
Unmute. Hindi ako mag-unmute. Ikaw lang. Magandang gabi. Magandang gabi.
Magandang taga. Hindi ka unmute eh. Dapat yung sa mute dito sa ano?
Isa lang tayo ng
StreamYard.
Ha?
StreamYard.
Hindi. May mic pa ako dito. Oo. Okay. Sabi mo. Magandang gabi. Sino dyan? Si Liza.
Sige.
John Michael.
Oh, hindi kita marinig.
John Michael.
Wait. Hindi kita naririnig. So, I have to unmute it.
Alright.
Ayan.
Okay. So hi from Singapore galing kay Rosette. And you have naman the time. Feisty. Wow. Zesty and feisty. Nakbo. Hirap kong kaaway. Sana hindi ka magpunta sa correct movement. Serena Labor. Arjun Chow. Hindi mo kaya bakit ba yung video ganyan? Kapangit.
Oo nga, napakalinaw ng video.
Why are you like that?
You are like a
1960s picture of
terrorist.
But the 1960s.
Sa'yo din, ganun din.
Wanted, ha?
Sa'yo din.
Hindi, ito gumagalaw dito sa akin.
It's not moving. Gumagalaw ba siya?
Gumagalaw ba siya ito nakalagin din sa inyo?
Ha?
Ha?
O, nag-i-echo nga ako.
Nag-i-echo nga ako. Huwag na ito.
Kasi dalawa yung microphone. May, dalawa na yung microphone. Okay, dito na lang ako.
Yan.
Okay na?
Okay na?
Pero siya din yung gumagalaw. Yun,
sabi ko kasi
hindi, naka-ano siya. What's going on? Masyado mataas yung ating resolution. Hindi kinakaya ng internet. So, nag-i-echo ko. Ayan. Okay na, no? Wala na, no? Wala nang echo. I hope so.
Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi pumunta yan dito, dapat nandun lang isa sa bahay niya eh.
Kasi. Okay, wait lang ha. Para maganda yung ating audio. Kilang microphone.
Pinatay mo na yung microphone.
Pinatay ko. Okay, you share on mic. Okay? How is that? Okay na yan. Gamer ata siya. Hindi yan siya gamer. Ano yan siya? Meron yan siyang talent sa paggawa ng language game.
May echo pa rin. Wala na. How about now? May echo pa.
No more watching from Japan. Musta po? Galing sa Japan. Ayan. Okay na no. Yan. Dili. Uli. Di uli. Kumalaw si AGP.
Mahina nga daw yung internet ko, sabi ng ano.
Yung ano mo yan, teka, adjust ko yung ano. Gawin mong 480 yung ano mo, pre? Video. Kung 480 na ako, ikaw rin. Baba mo sa 480.
720 na lang to.
Your video is not moving. You're like a terrorist from the 1970s.
How
Okay na
about
ako.
now?
480. Mag-480 ka. 480 is okay.
Okay?
Alright? Yes! We're good. Now, the question. Wala ka rin audio.
Hello?
You have no audio. Ano nangyari sa'yo? Wala kang audio.
Kasi,
Wala siyang
Hello?
audio. Anyway,
Meron
ating-
dapat.
ating
Meron dapat.
subject matter habang inaayos yung kanyang audio ay hello, English. How are you? Attorney Ahmed, how are you?
ikaw muna
Are
dyan.
you English? O kayo? Are you English? Oh. Anyway, bakit how are you English? Kung nakapag-aral kayo ng Espanyol, sino ba nag-aral ng Espanyol 101? Espanyol 1. Sino? Tas kamay. Yung mga nag-aral ng Espanyol sa UP, yung aming libro ay Hola, ¿qué tal? So, English, how are you? Tama ba yung translation yun?
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hi! Hi sa inyo.
Maria
Hola,
Ligaya,
¿qué
how are you?
tal? Okay. So, yung wala kang audio, pre. Your mic isn't working.
Working
Alam ko sa'yo
Ayun.
kanina. Anyway, maybe kung ito yung gamitin mo. Kasi nag-double doon yung audio ko kanina. Pre.
Hindi, kasi naririnig nila from your
No,
voice
no,
to
no.
my mic.
It was these two mics that were working together.
I just feel it.
No. Use it ba? Kasi kanina, nag-double yan, pumasok din yan.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yan. You see, when people do
I am not doing what you said.
Turn it on.
Pinatay ko yan.
Turn it on.
No, I'm using this.
Wala ka nga. Okay. Meron na. Okay na. Good na. Goods. All goods. All right.
Larga.
Okay. So here we go. So,
Hello.
language.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Very well. Sige, go ahead. Anong nangyari?
Okay. So, ganito ang nangyayari, no? Sa ating mundo na iba-iba yung mga nagsasalita, yung iba hindi naririnig. Yung microphone ng iba sobrang lakas. Yung iba naman may microphone hindi gumagana. Yung iba nag-echo. So, ang pangit ng communication sa mundo kaya ng mga bata, no? Let's imagine the children. Kasi yung balita natin kanina sa tambayan, babalik kasi sa klase. Tama? They're going back to class. How will they perceive the world? Can you remember when you were just about 3-4 years old? Hindi natin naalala yun, ano?
Oh, I can remember when I was 3 years old. But
Still. Parang naman si Kiko.
no, I remember what mga 4 years old because I started reading at 4. So I remember that part. And then at 5 years old, I was a terror of Mabini Street. That's what they called me because lahat ng mga taong dumadaan, binabato ko. Namumulot ako ng bato sa gilid ng kalsada and everybody passes by. So, terror of Mabini.
Sa ngayon, di ba, yun, mga tambay doon sa Chao, sa South. Yun yung ginagawa nila. Pero, anyway, at 3-4 years old, we don't remember that part of our lives, but why is my phone beeping? Okay. At 3 or 4 years old, we don't remember that. Pero, most children, sabi sa aking pagkakalam, learn best at that time.
All right. Okay. Learn best at that time daw. Tama yan. What's going on there? No problem.
Anyway, sige.
Hello, Crochet, Ella L, Jezrain, makulit, Ana Marie, si Aqua, de Adore, Judy Cat, si Cel, si Serena. Is that Serena? Yes. Janine Giadnuk, Miriam Martinez. Maganda to. Okay nga isang brother.
Okay na. Sige.
Anyway, yeah, we were talking about, because I noticed that at least when I was a child, I was studying math and science and history and what other subjects? Social studies, music, reading, together with learning English, the language that is English. So imagine the problem when you are studying arithmetic in English and you do not understand what the teacher is telling you or asking you, or you do not know how to ask the teacher what she's talking about, or you could not tell her that you don't understand anything because you don't know how to speak English yet. So how is that? What is the actual effect of that situation to the learning of these kids of the subjects that are taught in English? For example, science. Tinuturuan ka ng ano ba yung basics sa early grade school education in science? Matter, animals, di ba? Classification of things, living things, plants, mga ganito ganyan. So those are basic. That's easy kasi the vocabulary there are being taught at the same time as they are introduced to you as concepts in science. Tama? But when we start talking about, for example, relationships of living things like commensalism, predation, ano ba yung mga iba doon? Predation and commensalism. Ano ba yung mga yan? Mga ganun.
Yun.
Mga herbivores, mga carnivores, ganyan. And yung mga go, grow, glow.
Tatagalogin natin yan? Hindi, di ba?
Hindi naman kailangan Tagalogin. Ang point ko is, when we are taught science, we have no problem with the concepts because they have to be taught in English, the words, the concepts, like plants. Plants talaga yan. Animals talaga yan. Diba? But the verbs, syntax, for example, if it is taught in English, it will serve English syntax. Hindi natin alam kung ano yung relationship ng words, like verb, subject, verb, agreement, like STV, subject, transitive verb. Diba?
Mas maganda itong kay Cruz. Mamalit na lang ng tag-beer.
Oh, cheers.
Beer. Siya lang meron ako wala. Hindi niya ako binigyan. Okay.
Thank you, Crochet. Crochet na kita.
Alam mo, because of this pandemic, I had the chance to witness yung mga klase ng anak ko na nasa grade 1, pati ng kinder siya. Meron isang tik-tik dyan pag hindi mo na maintindihan. Pag tinawag ka ng teacher, may I go out? I go to the CR. Ganun lang yun.
Di ba?
Okay. I really see that a lot of times sa klase ng teacher. And I go to the
Exactly.
CR. Yeah.
But that's okay because if you're learning English, you cannot be taught English in English. You should be taught English in an understandable language to share with your teacher. Diba? That is how you teach English as a foreign language. You cannot teach it in English because you will be telling this person what gibberish, diba? Something that sounds and noise, but he doesn't understand anything. So that is how you teach English. Now,
Is it that possible to learn two languages at the same time?
it is, but science is not a language. It is a discipline. It is a school of thought. Diba?
Uh, yeah.
So, and then mathematics. Now we are talking about learning two languages at the same time. But the problem there is you are learning English, one language, math, another language, but you're taught those two subjects in English. Diba? Math is a symbolic language. It's a highly symbolic language. So the concepts there is abstract, and you put a symbol to symbolize what is abstract. If you do not understand the relationship of words and ideas in the English language, you will not understand the abstraction of math. Diba? Mm. So it's problematic, but there's no other way of doing it. We have to teach our children English because we need English. I mean, sa puro kalokohan na sinasabing national language natin, Filipino, and ganyan-ganyan. But we also need to learn the language that is commonly being spoken in most of the countries in the world, in most of the businesses in the world. So we have to learn English. The problem there is that if we have to learn English and we have also to learn science and math, we are being taught those two subjects at least in English, then do we completely learn math and science fully and understand it completely when you are using the language that you are also learning at the same time?
I think
Diba?
yes. I think yes. I think that's really possible because teaching yung language na sa mga bata, the usage of that language directly sa application ng math, application ng science, conversational usage, yun yung nagre-reinforce ng learning. And I've seen this with my own daughter, and we can see this with your own mga pamangkin and our friends there who are abroad. It's really possible to learn for kids. Sa inyo na may mga anak.
I'm not saying it's not possible. We learn it. I mean, I think I have a good grasp of English. I can think in English and not speak in English and not translate my thoughts in Filipino and translate it and say it in English. You and I know that. You also think in English. But how about those students, those pupils who come from families that don't speak English at home? That they will encounter English for the very first time, a really strange language, in class. And they are being taught all their subjects in that language. How scary is that?
Anyway, tingin ko ganito yan. In the old system kasi, it's a shotgun type eh. So when you you teach for the brighter ones. And when you find that there are students who cannot catch up, you are now able to weed out. That is the old system. I'm not saying that's the right system, but fortunately, our education professionals have found out that this is not correct, and everyone must be given a chance to learn as much as the other ones. And in the Japanese parlance, it's you can only go as fast as your slowest companion. Di ba? Hindi ka pwedeng paliparin mo itong isa kasi siya lang nakakaintindi. Pero yung kanyang mga kasamahan na lagpas sa 20 doon sa kanilang klase, sablay. And that's what we saw. And I think a lot of improvements have already been done in our educational system now. In the sense na, yun, nawawala na yung mga ranking, yung comparison, yung gano'n. So personalized na lang yung pagtingin ng mga bata sa kanilang sariling grades. Pero hindi mo rin pwedeng walain yung sense of competition kasi pag wala ng competition, mahirapan yun siyang mamuhay sa mundo. And isa pang bagay na hindi pwedeng tanggalin, alam mo yung protectiveness natin sa bullying, no? Yung zero tolerance, I think that is counterintuitive and counterproductive. Yung sa bullying, na masyado nating pinoprotektahan yung mga bata na yung isang bata na nagkamali at 12 years old, i-kick out mo na because of that zero tolerance policy. Maybe it would have been better if the system was made in such a way na you teach them to reconcile rather than turn on your mic.
What I'm talking about is this, that probably we teach the children quickly English at a very, very early age before they go into starting to study science and math and all these things, which means that we have to start talking in English and Filipino earlier, sa bahay, sa nursery, school, sa daycare, which is not impossible. Our government just has to make sure that that is done systematically, and that there is reinforcement for doing that. In other words, if your children and your family would help the child speak English and be comfortable with English, maybe not completely know the syntax and the semantics and all the pragmatics of the English language and even writing and speaking, but just feel comfortable with it. Now, you can say that, teacher, I do not understand what the hell you're talking about when you say the subset of a set of what has identity and trans and all that when we talk about numbers and real numbers and all that stuff in grade 6 math, di ba? What is that? Algebra, for example. And then when you go to high school and you start talking about trigonometry and all these things, trigonometry, geometry, and statistics are very abstract disciplines. And you are taught what is a standard deviation.
Let me just say something. I'm native Bisaya speaker. Okay, lumaki ako sa Mindanao. But my problem is I cannot write in Bisaya. Not that I do not know the spelling, but because my brain and my hand does not coordinate in writing Cebuano. And I can speak it very fluently. Alam mo yun? So, I can imagine with the problem with okay, it's not yet a rule, di ba? Parang ano lang yung policy natin ngayon, parang recommendation na if a teacher can teach math or teach science in their own vernacular, kung nasan man sila dyan sa Pilipinas. Kasi we have a lot of languages here. Di ba? May Cebuano, may Tiruray, may ano. Di ba? Ang dami. But even the native speakers of our own language may not find it easy to write that language down. Yung magsusulat ka lang sa blackboard in your own language, it's difficult. Me, I cannot write in Cebuano. I can write, but it will take me a long, long time to imagine what how to translate that language into writing.
So do you think that in another language and then translate it in Cebuano when you write it? Is that what's going on with you?
Oh, no, I can
Do you think in Cebuano?
let's say for example, I know what the words are, what the sentence was in Cebuano. Pero writing it down, imagining transferring that into letters, it's very difficult for me.
That's muscle. That's muscle memory. It happens when you are always doing it. So automatic yan. So we write in English. I can easily type stuff in English. But lately, because of the internet and the social media, I've made it my business to also post things in Tagalog and also in Bisaya, even if they're just really for craziness and jokes and all that. Because si Junior, si El Junior na Foolies. Dadaan lang daw siya.
May gabi.
Mhm. Okay, so what am I saying? Well, I'm saying that we don't have to change what we are doing now, but I think that the government also has to probably make a program to show like the internet to the kids while they're at home growing up before they enter the educational system. So as early as infancy, I suppose the government already comes in, provides the people, the families, the community with how to help children learn English, make them familiar with it, and then confident that when they go into school, they will not be shocked by this new language that they get to hear every subject. Di ba? So, kagaya ng sinasabi ni, who is this? Yung nagsabi niya doon daw sa mountain province, children there are already speaking English because of the YouTube and all that stuff. As si Serena Labor. That's what I'm talking about. That we are doing that on our own. How about those people who have no access to the internet yet? The government should come in and help them out and make clear programs. Okay, maybe content. Gumawa sila ng mga itong mga kagaya na sa mga kano na meron silang yung ano ba yun, yung mga penguin, just to help the children repeat words and sentences and all that so that they are familiar with the language so that when they go into grade 1, it's not strange.
Well, ganito lang yan. As we have already discussed in so many days now, no? This system that we have in our education, I don't know if there are teachers who are with us tonight, and maybe you can verify whether our system of teaching is really the same as the rest of the world. Kasi tayo, when we go out, we go to other countries, we don't go there as students na maliliit. So, ito kasi yung nakikita kong isang problema eh. What if what if, it's just a question. What if, yung ating question na, bakit walang nakakapaglabas ng mga bagong philosophy sa ngayon? Bakit wala tayong bagong ideas of society sa ngayon? We're living in the 16th century. So maybe, what if lang to perpetuate this kind of system, this pedagogy, which they call that pedagogy, the system of teaching, is so designed so that you will have people who will know how to read, know how to write, know how to speak, but not really become functional users of a language. Diba? To be able to express new ideas. Parrots, in other words.
Yeah.
Human parrots.
What is sad there is that you are haphazardly taught in English and you cannot be a functional user of a speaker of English like a native speaker is. And at the same time, you're also a haphazard student of science and mathematics because you did not get the full potential of learning while you were studying English because science because it was taught in English where your teachers who are not themselves not good in not very good in English are teaching science in English. So it bundles everything, right? So how do we solve this? I don't know how to we solve this. But what I'm saying is that we have to make ourselves more familiar with a medium of instruction on in science and math and history and all that, whatever it may be, like English. If it's Filipino, then we familiarize ourselves with Filipino.
Well, ganito lang yung masasabi ko dyan. There are situations na hindi mo maiisip kung paano kung lahat ng tao sa buong mundo ay matalino. Do you think our society is able to handle 8 billion intelligent people?
Well, I don't know about
Okay? No. Intelligent, independently thinking people. But our educational system, for me, is so designed. I've always believed in this. That our educational system is so designed as to replace the system of slavery in one way or another. No? So that you will have workers who will not complain. You will have workers who will know how to do their work. Just that. Not think, not talk, not to complain. Okay, and you know that is the world we live in. And even if you show these people words that are in English, plain and simple English, and you just tell them this is a lie, even if the contents of that document is true, people will just believe that it is a lie. When they read it, they will read it as a lie. So what are we teaching really in school? Maybe they're just teaching the system of power and just believing on what you are told to believe. So that is the thing that we must explore, di ba? Where does this whole philosophy running in our schools? Kasi, okay, you cannot blame Inday Duterte on this. You cannot blame, who is that? The last lady, yung matanda. Sino yun? Si Briones. You cannot blame these people. We are all products of this system. Tayo lahat. Even the teachers na nagturo sa kanila, tayo lahat ay biktima sa ganitong sistema. And this is not our indigenous school system. There are already studies na kinundak ng mga magagaling na mga professor dyan sa Ateneo, sa UP, and they've researched this thing. So our indigenous way of teaching is not like this. More empowering yung sa indigenous schools. Di ba? So, yun yung ating dapat tingnan. And I really do not know if you can help yung mga tao natin dito sa ibang bansa, mga Filipino, mga kapwa natin. Can you tell us what's going on there sa schools nila? Is it the same as ours? Ako, for one, I've seen my pamangkin. Their books in the US, it's a different style of teaching. Even their social studies is different from ours.
Exactly. So, for example, India used to teach their children the subjects of math and science in English because they were a colony of the Brits. Di ba? And for a very long time that they were under the Brits, they were the third class human beings in India, their own country. But when the Brits left India, and now they are teaching their students math, science, and all of these things in their own language. Look at the Indians now with computers, with IT, with math, with engineering. They're the best in Asia and maybe in the world. They're among the best. They are the best in anything with IT and numbers and programming and all that. Indians, since they started learning these things in their own language, which is a hint for us. Na I'm not saying we don't study it in English. I'm just saying we know English first before we study science in English. We know English first before we study math in English. Di ba? Yun lang ang sinasabi ko. Uy, si Musikerong Panday. Oh, yan. Musikerong Panday, we are going to play your song as an extra. Okay, when we end this presentation, we will play your song so that everyone can hear it and maybe explore other songs that you made.
Okay, so Naalala ko lang si Ludwig Wittgenstein. Okay, Ludwig Wittgenstein, Philo 1. Sabi ni Ludwig Wittgenstein, language is a game na kailangan yung mga players ng users ng language must know the meaning of words and the rules of of communication for them to become effective speakers. So knowing words, knowing the construction to make sentences, if they're not the same as the level of understanding among each other about the real meaning of these combined words, magkakaroon ka ng miscommunication na matindi. Okay? Naalala mo yung pinapabasa ko sa iyo na speech ng isang magaling na Pilipino na nag-present sa President ng United States and the congressmen and the senators in 1927?
I think it was the UN.
No,
The
it
US.
was just the US. It was the US. And
Alright.
okay, and it was a private engagement, and he spoke. And his speech, yun yung pinabasa ko sa iyo, 1927, was asking the Americans, what do you want to do with us? He was saying that you educated us, you educated me. I finished my college from your public university. I think it was UP.
He was talking about
About himself.
the readiness of the Philippines and the Filipinos for democracy because we were about to be set free by the Americans supposedly.
Yeah, but imagine, no? If you were really educated and you really felt that you can be free from your captors, why would you go there and then just say these things? Why didn't you fight for it? Diba? Oh, yun. So, meaning, we experience a different kind of educational system that I believe is still the same up to now. Tinuro yan ng tinuro. And those experiences like India, I know they changed their educational system there.
Yeah, they
Back
did.
to their indigenous methods. Kasi yun nga, iba yung edukasyon na nagpapalaya ng utak. At iba rin yung edukasyon na designed para
To keep you enslaved.
i-suppress yung isang utak. Functional siya. Feeling niya meron siyang diploma, meron siyang titulo, pero kunwari, designin mo yan ng bago. Wala. Yun. So wala siya, hindi siya liberating na education. And yan yung isang unique na, like kayo. Ikaw, abogado ka ng UP, you know the difference between your education and the education of other law schools. Di ba?
Well, I think it's the same. But the problem there is that the students are not.
No, yung Socratic method sa UP is different. In other schools, it is being taught from the blackboard.
Well, I don't know how they teach law there in other schools, but what I'm saying is that it's the same law that's being taught. It's the same jurisprudence that we are being read.
Yes.
It's really up to the students to make the best of it. And those people who do not make it to UP law are those people who were taught stuff in
okay.
English
Sa mga hindi
that they did not
nakakaintindi.
understand.
Sa mga hindi nakakaintindi sa atin, ganito kasi, in UP law, almost no professor makes a lecture. They just go to class,
Sit there and
sit there and ask you,
terrorize
hey,
you.
you. Hanap ng pangalan. The case that you are supposed to read today, what happened to this case? Ganyan na since first year. None of the teachers there ever lectures you that this is the law and this is where it came
Yeah.
from. No, it's the students who are forced to explain all of these things in front of the class, and everybody learns from each other. That's a different kind of learning, not meant for everyone. But imagine mo if we were trained like that since kids.
Exactly, and that's what I'm talking about. If you're already at peace or at ease with how you speak and how the people will perceive you when you talk to them, and you believe that and you are confident that they will understand you whatever the hell it is you say,
Mhm.
you will speak out. You will have ideas and you will tell them all about those ideas and hindi ka mahihiya. Hindi ka matatakot na they will laugh at you and all that. That's what I'm talking about. We should be confident about ourselves in our language when we go to school. And if that language is English, then we should be confident and comfortable with English. How to do that, I don't know, but we have to do it really, really soon and really, really early for it to be fruitful and meaningful.
Pero I would go back to your own concern. You know? Science says that before you can solve a problem, you must understand the problem.
Not only that, you have to be able to state it yourself.
Yes, and for us to expect the government to do something about this, the government must know that there is a problem. The problem is they don't.
That is our job. I think
And
that we will have to tell them that here is a
um,
problem. Listen
okay,
to us.
sabi na, nung pumunta ako sa Taiwan, mayroong bookstore doon at makikita mo yung mga bata nagbabasa ng libro. Dito, puro TikTok. You see? Ah, ah, yung, yung yearning kasi to learn, ah, nagsisimula yan when the mind is inquisitive eh. But in our school system, when you ask questions, mapapalo ka dati sa panahon natin or ngayon ay sit down, enough, children. Okay, behave na ha, okay. So, you see, we do not allow kids to ask questions in school. And from the very young age, the thing that is being taught is discipline.
Shut up.
Shut up.
When elders are talking,
Listen.
let's not talk.
Okay? Oh, so I don't want clever conversation. I don't want clever conversation. I never want to work that hard. No, I says, akala mo hindi ko nakuha kagad ah.
Ako yung
Rocky.
may yung nalalasing.
Oh, yan. So, anyway, language is just a game. And language can be many versions of. The important thing is when you are able to connect concepts with each other. That each word is just a concept, and another word is another concept. And when you can connect those two concepts, you can create a concrete thought. Now, those things are so alien in our education system. Hindi naman yan tinuturo eh. Di ba? So, dun tayo sa pinaka-basic. Eh, ang problema, ha? Sino kakausapin mo niyan, DepEd? Eh, sila nga yung guardian of the gates ng sistema na yan. They have PhDs on making that system perpetuate forever. Oh. So, unless you really have a very revolutionary thinker there na who can withstand all the political backlash, di ba? And really have the political will to change it. Pero ang tanong, change it with whom? Ikaw lang mag-isa? You can't. Because this is an entire generation of scholars who made this system as rigid as it is now. Na semento na to. Hindi lang na semento, inispalto pa sa ibabaw. At nilagyan pa ng pintura na nakalagay pa, do not cross. Oh. Katulad nung, i-post ko to kay Maria Reza this one is just language. Ito, pwede, can we put this up, eh? Right? Can we put this up? This one.
Hold on. Sabi ni Serena,
Mm.
sir, yun pong nasa module na pinamimigay, I think malaking tulong sa face-to-face din kasi may well-explained din i-apply yung paraan ng UP. Yeah, yung paraan ng UP is not familiar to every teacher or all teachers. It's just really familiar to the students that went through that hell in UP. And most people, well, I'm not saying this is true of everyone, but yung mga tao na nag-aral sa UP, only a few of them would actually want to teach children in public schools. Kasi parang ang nangyayari, you're gone, my friend. Your computer died, but you're still here.
It's okay. Just go on.
Mm. Yes. So government, because we cannot just rely on voluntarism of UP people, for example, or Ateneo. Ateneo people are good, and LaSalle, they speak better English than we ever will in UP, diba? And then they speak other languages as well, like French, and I don't even understand any word of French except for voulez-vous coucher avec moi. I don't understand what it is, but somebody told me that if I wanted to get laid, I would just say that. But I haven't tried that one. Anyway, voluntarism does not work because people studying in these universities, good ones, wouldn't want to throw away their gastos in going to school and all that just to volunteer to teach public school here, barangay and stuff like that. I appreciate those people who really would do that, and there are people like that. There are people like that, and one friend that I have on Facebook, si Heda Tadi, is one of those people. Uh, and she has so many ideas about how to go about these things. And Singapore, where she has been teaching English to Singaporeans and other people outside of Singapore, um, she has discovered, and the country discovered, a way to teach English, okay, as a language or as a second language, a foreign language, and also teach other subjects in which the content is given in English. So that's science, math, and all that, history, and stuff like that. There is a way of doing that. It's a science now. And if only our government can tap into that and study that stuff, and it start it soon, really really soon, under Sara Duterte, if she hears about these things, I trust that she is. That's probably where she should start. Our children, the adults like us are almost helpless or hopeless for this anymore, but the children, they are always there. We seem to have this penchant of giving birth to a lot of children. So let's just make it good for them, and never mind us, diba? But let's talk about this thing that you were talking about, to share this thing. Hold on, this one. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. So this one is in English. This one is a very nice story. In fact, this is what we talked about yesterday. Uh, you see, English and Tagalog ang lesson dito. So sa kaya dito na. So Manila, a vlogger claimed. Nako, hindi. Ikaw na lang kaya magbasa. Kayo, can you read it? No, I'll make it bigger na lang. Okay, Manila, a vlogger named yun. A vlogger claimed Rappler CEO Maria Ressa and her former staff, who are both out on post-conviction bail, will be in prison for 6 years. Okay? Okay. This is now the reporter saying, after Court of Appeals rejected their plea to overturn their conviction. So, imagine this is the message. Pero ang sabi ng vlogger Sangkay Janjan TV, released a vlog entitled Bilis ng Karma, May Maghihimas ng Rehas. Future tense yan. So, this guy didn't even claim that, okay, he didn't claim that Maria Ressa and her staff are both, are both in jail. Okay, he didn't say that they're behind bars. He says, may maghihimas ng rehas. So, passing it off in English like this, okay, if this goes out to a normal reader na hindi naman din masyadong adept sa Filipino, so isipin mo, okay, mali itong, grabe naman itong mga vlogger na to, kung makapanghusga, unang-una, nauuna na masyado. So, but if you understand language, this guy is actually saying in the future tense. He didn't say that it is in the present or the past tense. Now, Sabi niya, this is misleading. Oh, how can it be misleading? Now, let's see who is actually misleading. In the facts na sinasabi dito, this is published in I think, when was this? What is 14? Today? This is today, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, can we move konti pataas? Yeah. Let's look at the facts that they're saying here.
Yeah.
Okay. The case is yet to reach finality, and parties are still entitled to appeal all the way to the Supreme Court. Yes, that's true. But what is wrong with the post daw? Well, with the misleading title, the vlogger went on to read a social media post of Net25 that read, breaking 6 years in prison for Rappler CEO Maria Ressa. Okay, so who are they really now? Who are they tagging now as fake news? Is it this guy or Net25? Because Net25 is another big media entity, and people in media know that you do not just go attack Iglesia ni Cristo. Iglesia ni Cristo to, di ba? Okay. But they are attacking this guy for reading a headline from Net25, which says daw, breaking 6 years in prison. So, is this guy's problem? No. Okay? He also claimed that Russia went up against a businessman, Wilfredo King, and the government has nothing to do with the case. Okay, now they're making it appear as if this is not true, but this is the truth. So this guy is not telling a lie. So who is now misleading? Ito, ang binanggay yung isang businessman, hindi kasama yung gobyerno natin. At sa katotohanan, ang isa lang mapanagot ng gobyerno natin, foreign ownership, dahil nabisto ng Securities and Exchange Commission na funded na funded ito ng mga banyaga. He continued, mixing up the cases with the news site the news site is facing. Wait, but these are okay. Mixing up, itong sinasabi natin fact slip, okay? But these are not fact slipping. He's not making a new idea, di ba? He's not making a new idea. He is enumerating. Iba yung enumerating sa making up a new idea. Okay? Ang bilis ng karma, naku po, Rehasto. Okay, what is wrong with that? Rehasto is a normal street lingo which says future tense pa rin. It doesn't say rehas ka ngayon. Di ba? Or nasa rehas na siya. Oh. Attorney, what can you say?
Well, first, doon muna tayo sa misleading, title blogger, red media, breaking news. Okay. Ito ang ito muna ang sa taas. Itong what the post said. Okay? Facts. Itong facts niya, statement of facts muna. The case has yet to reach finality and parties are still entitled to appeal all the way to the Supreme Court. Wrong. The appeal is already done and they lost the appeal. What is next for them is a petition for certiorari, which is a review of the action of the Court of Appeals, whether or not it was done with grave abuse of discretion. That is not an appeal. That is a petition to review the decision of the Court of Appeals to find out whether or not they did it wantonly, not based on facts, what else, carelessly, and then despotically, and all that stuff. So all of these things that an asshole would do, if the CA did that, not sticking to the law and the facts, then the Supreme Court in this petition for review on certiorari, mababaliktad yung CA. But if you read the decision of the CA, tell me if they are exercising their right, discretion, in a despotic manner, in a careless, in a wanton manner. They did not. The decision of the CA is cogent. It's well based on facts and law. And there it is, that these facts that Philippine Star is stating is completely wrong. That part of their fact check is wrong. It's not an appeal. All right? Okay, then we go to the misleading title. The vlogger went on social breaking 6 years in prison. There is nothing wrong with. There is nothing false about that. Okay, if you fact check that, and it would be saying the same thing. Yung sinabi niya, he also claimed that Teresa went up against. Binanggamis mo, isn't that what happened? Di ba? Okay.
Yeah, so yan yung sinasabi nating fact sleeping na they use the same methods that they use there in and now you see the mainstream media is angry when social media non-card bearing members of their exclusive club use their techniques. Okay? Gagalit sila. Oh, what did she use? She should have used my term, fact sleeping. This whoever wrote this should learn from us. Fact sleeping ang tawag dyan. And I invented it. Okay? So anyway, okay. So now this is the funniest part. It's just what is left out. Okay? What it left out daw.
Yan ang
Okay?
gusto ko.
It left out something daw. Ano ba pakialam mo kung ano sasabihin itong taong to? Gusto nyo kompleto talaga? Yung lahat ng detalye talaga?
I think that they are demanding of this blogger
To
what
be a perfect person?
no, what is demanded of news people. The blogger is not a news person. He's not a reporter. He is saying opinion. He's probably having an opinion on a news article, but what he's doing is not reporting news. So these people, this Philippine star, is expecting this guy to be a news reporter. Why?
Move up para mabasa ng ating mga friends yung what it left out daw. It left out daw, when the Court of Appeals rejected the appeal to overturn several level conviction, also the CA also modified their prison sentence. Ano kayo? Did you sinabi na modify yan? So if you stop there, modify naman pala eh. Di ba? Tingnan natin kung anong pagka-modify. The Manila court had sentenced them to prison term ranging from 6 months and a day to 6 years. That is what the lower court gave as a penalty. But the CA modified their punishment to a jail time of 6 months and a day to 6 years, 8 months, and 20 days. Ano ba kayo? Kulang yung sinasabi nitong vlogger na to. Sabi niya 6 years lang. Hindi, meron pang 8 months and 20 days na dagdag.
Gusto nila humaba ang kulong ni Reza.
Gusto niyong ipahaba si Reza. Grabe naman.
Pero ayaw nilang sabihin ng vlogger na makukulong nga si Reza.
Pero gusto nila kailangan kumpleto.
Mahaba yung
hindi pwede 6 years. Dapat 6 years, 8 months, and 20 days. Wala bang probation, te? Walang probation. Hindi pwedeng baguhin yan later on. Walang parole.
There's probably that.
Yes, naman.
That's available.
Okay. So, they also can still file an appeal and elevate their case, as the attorney said. Diba? All the way to, they have not yet filed, maybe. At the time that this guy went on air or when talking about this, I'm sure they have not, because you are saying here they can still file. So you don't even know if they ever file. But unless they file, that decision of the Court of Appeals is final.
Right. That part of the procedure in court is like this. After the decision of the CA comes out, they have a chance to file a motion for reconsideration within 15 days from a receipt of the copy of the judgment, the resolution. So, kung natanggap na yung Reza yan, ngayon, she has 15 days to file a MR. And the CA will either consider MR and reverse its decision or uphold their decision and dismiss her MR. Ganon ang mangyayari dyan. And then, after it is denied, yung kanyang motion for reconsideration is denied and the case is dismissed, again, Maria Reza is a criminal convict. But she has another 60 days to file a petition for review on certiorari sa Supreme Court. But until that petition is filed and given due course by the Supreme Court, she is a convicted criminal.
But look at this. Look at how this Philippine Star is trying to make us all look Like we are grade 1 who do not understand English and do not understand law. Sabi,
Or
at the CA level,
they don't seem to understand that there are lawyers or bloggers.
no. No, ito. This is really abusing the reader. At the CA level, and even at the Manila court level, the plaintiff has long been people of the Philippines and not Wilfredo Keng, as the Department of Justice already indicted Reza and Santos. So you mean every criminal that has been convicted in this country was convicted by the Philippine government?
They were oppressed.
Wait,
Not convicted.
no.
Oppressed
They
by
were
the
oppressed
Philippine
by the
government.
Philippine government. And look. It does not say Philippine government. Hindi siya naglagay dyan ng Republic of the Philippines. People of the Philippines. This is the state, my dear. The state. The people of the Philippines refers to the state, not the
Not
government.
the government. And those are two different things, Mr. Philstar. The government of a country or a state is different from the state. In criminal cases, what is involved is the state, the sovereign people of the Philippines, not the government of the Philippines.
That
Okay?
means you, me, and everybody else. Tayo ang complainant dito. Because a crime that happens in this country, ang complainant dyan is not just that person, but all of us.
Strike
Not the
two.
government. Not the government.
Strike two na kayo,
Hindi si
Philstar.
Duterte yan, hindi yan si Bongbong Marcos, at hindi rin yan nung maski si Pinoy when this happened. It was not him. Okay?
Strike two.
And all criminal cases are entitled People of the Philippines.
That is ridiculous, Philstar.
That is the most ridiculous fact-checking I've ever seen.
You really should get a lawyer before you fact check.
And this is the worst part. Government lawyers have been prosecuting Reza. Wait. Balik po. Government lawyers have been prosecuting Reza and Santos before the courts. Did the case stem from a complaint by Wilfredo Keng? Oh my God. So ibig sabihin, because the government lawyers are representing the people of the Philippines and prosecuting a person who has committed a crime,
Then it was
then
BBM.
he is now being oppressed by Duterte or BBM or what?
That is what they want to say.
Okay.
And want
You're not
us to
saying
believe.
it, no? You're not saying it. Yes, I know you're not saying it. Yes, you are not saying it. But yes, why are you saying it there in your fact check? What for? Para to prove na she's not being that this case is not a private case, but this case is a
Government
prosecution of the government against Maria Reza.
Wrong.
Okay, fine. Nice.
Okay,
so
next.
The essential
Strike
context. Essential context na ano?
Okay,
Una.
context.
Ayoko nang basahin pa.
I will read it.
Ayun.
In rejecting Reza's appeal, the CA also held that cyber libel cases may be filed when assailing online articles up to 15 years after publication. No? So what the hell does it mean to us? Wala namang yung relevance doon sa sinasabi ng blogger. In Manila, in the Manila court, during the Reza Santos appeal, Judge Estacio Montesa said the offense had not yet prescribed. Exactly. So, did the blogger say anything about this?
Ano kasalanan ng blogger dyan?
And are you, Philstar, are you telling us, they are making it our obligation to say these nonsense things just to make them happy. And then they are expecting the blogger to say Panggiton Jr. versus Department of Justice Act number 3326. What? Even lawyers do not expect anyone to cite these things in whatever they have to say online. But Philstar apparently has this compulsion, a power to compel bloggers to that they should say all of these things. Otherwise, you are misleading. What the hell are you doing, guys? Strike 3 na kayo.
Strike 4 na yan. 4. That's a first strike.
Restrictive period. How can you expect a blogger to... Why would they talk about restrictive period? The lawyer of Maria Reza couldn't even successfully plead that. That's why she lost. Now she's a criminal convict. So see, this Philstar thing here is flexing a muscle to oppress a private person, and it is acting like it is not the private person, the blogger here, that is really at fault, but the government of this country. What? Uh, First, you have to prove that this guy is wrong. You failed to do that. This guy is not wrong. You are. Second, you have to prove that the government, this or the previous one, has anything to do with Maria Reza's case. And if your reasoning there to say that it had something to do with it is that the name of the case is People of the Philippines versus you're ridiculous. You're just out of your fucking head. Right? So stop doing that, because not everyone is stupid online. We are here. We are watching you.
And my battery is drying up. Okay. Now, di ba? This is supposed to be a fact-checking. And they say, the story is supported by the Philippine Fact-Check Incubator. Fact-Check Incubator. An Internews. Oh, another new two-word thing. An Internews initiative.
Look at the bottom thing. Why does it matter? Now the ugly head rears.
Oh, yeah.
Why are they doing this fact check? Because in 6 days, this blogger got 199,192 views. They got jealous.
So we fact-checked this to clarify that although Reza and Santos were arrested in 2020, the blogger didn't even stay this year. They are not yet to be imprisoned. Oh, compelling. Since they already paid and were allowed post-conviction bail, kailan kaya sila nagbayad? Bago kaya nagsalita yung blogger or after? I do not know and I don't care. The blogger also accused the news site of doing fake news, an accusation thrown at Philippine media.
Yeah, that part is a
And that has
defense.
been used to discredit mainstream and legitimate news organizations. Oh, wow. Really? Now you're discrediting yourself.
That sentence, look at that. That sentence makes it, they make it sound like it's a stating of a fact to correct what is allegedly falsely said by the blogger. And then there is this second part, an accusation thrown at Philippine media that has been used to discredit mainstream religion. What? Discredit you? When right now, what we are doing is reviewing your fact check, and we are saying that is completely wrong. What are we doing? Of course, we are discrediting you.
We're
Morons.
We're not fact-checking you, actually. We're not fact-checking you. This is not called fact-checking. Because,
We are saying you are wrong. That's it.
Because if that is fact-checking, what you're doing is fact-checking, then we don't want to do anything about that. This is the kind of education that they are trying to pass on to our people so that they can do away with these kinds of stupid stunts.
Kami ang pagtripan nyo. Para magkaalaman tayo.
Isipin nyo, if as an ordinary person reads this, the decision of that ordinary person who will read it will say, ito si fake news pala to eh. Oh.
But it's not even news.
Diba? That guy, I do not even know him. Who is that?
And I'm sure that he didn't report news.
Oh, who is he? I do not know that guy. But whoever he is, he's just a social media blogger. And based on what they wrote here, I do not claim to have watched that blog, but based on what they just wrote here, she's Philstar. They have not indicted him in any way for doing any fake whatever.
Oh, all right. And then here is the mm, the underlying subtext to all of these things. Philstar is a business company. It is a business company that is involved in the business of selling news. Okay? It is not a government agency. It has no power delegated to by Congress to them to review all the opinions, news reports, and everything in this country. They have no such power. They have no such law upon which they act like they have a moral ascendancy over everyone, especially vloggers and bloggers. They have no basis for this ascendancy that they're trying to flex. And yet, here it is. They are acting like they are actually powerful. They are probably powerful in swaying public opinion in terms of persuasion,
Or
but fact checking to say that things are false and to say that a person is doing news reporting when this person is just saying opinion is imposing standards upon people who are not interested in doing what you are doing. We are not interested in selling news. We don't care for that stuff. Uh, as far as I'm concerned, only desperate people would want to do that. But what the hell?
alam mo, sometimes news is fun to read. Sometimes news is necessary to read. Okay? There are a lot of things that we really get from the news, like things that we need to go on normally in our lives, like kumusta na kaya yung sitwasyon sa daan, sa COVID, ganyan, ganyan. Those are things you get from the news. But this kind of thing, this is
This is not a function of a business or a news media company. This is a pretentious power play.
okay. So now there is a group pala called Philippine Fact Check Incubator. So I do not know what they incubate here. Di ba kasi yung chicken, yung itlog, pag nag-incubate ka niyan, merong napipisaya, may mga Texas, may mga 45-day-old chick, merong lalabas dyan yung mga itim na manok, o di kaya manok na pula. So I do not know
By the
what
way-
they are.
By the way, JP explained to you the nature of the freedom of the press. This is not part of that freedom. What they're doing here is not covered with freedom of the press.
Yes, because it is not really to the public interest. This is misleading the public. Misleading the public in terms of the law, misleading the public in terms of what this guy did. In fact, this guy can actually sue them. I don't know if he would like to.
Well, if he
No,
talks
if he
to
likes.
me, I would pay.
That's up to him.
Whatever.
That's up to him. But I do not know him. I have not seen his entire show, but based on what they wrote there, he has a cause of action. Kasi,
Maybe.
yeah, calling him, di ba, fact-checking him like that?
Well, to me, the best way to retaliate this kind of really stupid action by a field star is to blast them on social media, because that is what they're really rebelling against, or they're protesting that people are speaking on social media and that they seem to be like in overrun.
Ano yung sabi nila? That mainstream media has
Cheap.
been used to discredit
Discredit
mainstream
mainstream
media
media.
and legitimate news
Really?
organizations.
You are
They're pala
legitimate businesses, but whether or not you're legitimate news organizations is really questionable based on this action that you just did right here.
Fact-checking project for the 2022 Philippines elections.
Talk
Founding
about
partner of
pretentious.
the Check PH. Wow, great. This is Check PH, huh? Okay, whatever. So let's be conscious of these people. So I think that's it for tonight.
Yeah,
What do you
but
think?
remember
Are you
that
happy? Are you happy with guys? Yeah. Diba? Kasi this is the effect of our English. How are you English? Diba? we are abused when we're easily abused when we know how to read it, but not really good enough to discern the lines in between the words. Parang yun yung side effect ng ating English education, which you are explaining.
Enslaving. The enslaving English pedagogy in Philippines. All right, so that's it.
Mapagpapadali sa inyong lahat.
Okay, we are awesome, and you know that. You will learn these things and how we, bitch slap these things like Phil Star here. We will keep doing that for you. Yeah. Thank you. And here is the song of our friend.
Yeah. Saan si Musikero Pinoy? Bigyan natin ng konting pakinggan natin to si Musikero Pinoy.
Okay. Hold on.
Panday pala, Musikerong Panday.
Dengbak siya
Ay, sorry. Ano nangyari? What the hell? Sorry. Again. There you go.
sa mga batang wala namang sala. Pinakunaan ni Garin, mga politikong salarin. Sa eleksyon, lahat ay gagawin. Dengbak siya, naging pahirap ka. Mga magulang ay nagtiwala na ang bakuna ay ligtas, sa dengue may lunas. Sa ineksyon, hindi nakaiwas. Pinadali ni Butchabad, pinirmahan ni Aquino. Sa huli, wala silang alam. Dengbak siya, may matutunan ba? Huwag bumoto ng kurap at oportunista. Pumili ng makabayan at hindi gahaman. Dengbak siya, huwag nang maulit pa. Dengbak siya,